I got a gash in my WTB Trail Boss rear tire that was too big for the sealant to actually seal up. But I'm not giving up on this tire just yet. So if you've been watching this channel, you know that this WTB Trail Boss tire came to me for free when Marin replaced the rear wheel on my Rift Zone because of a hub failure on the original. And it came set up tubeless. I got in a good handful of rides on it before this issue happened. And let me point out, 100% my fault. I landed smack center on this rock, off of a drop off, and it just gashed through the kind of the tread area. I think any tire pretty much would have suffered the same consequence. So I've got a plan to fix it. Let's get into it. So the plan for fixing this basically involves this Slime Tire Parch Kit. And, it's obviously intended for, well, really any type of tire that's set up tubeless or even, I guess, tubed. I don't know. They show an ATV and a golf cart and a wheelbarrow and a trailer. But if it's going to work for that, I'm sure it'll work fine on a bike tire. So step one on this is really just going to be like inverting the tire so that I can see the area where the actual cut is easier. So this is exactly the spot I need to work on. I'm actually going to try to kind of like flatten it out. So I think one of the main things to getting a patch like this to work is making sure that this is completely clean so that it's got a good surface to adhere to. And this was set up tubeless, so it had all the sealant in there. It's got a greasy, kind of waxy feel to it. So the first thing I want to do is hit it with some 409. 409 is kind of a bit of a multi-surface cleaner, degreaser, although it does leave its own bit of residue on things. So after I go over it with this, my plan is then to come over with some brake cleaner, which is basically, rubbing alcohol, I think. So I've actually switched to like a microfiber cloth because that paper towel was just kind of disintegrating and leaving little pieces everywhere. So as this is wet, it still feels greasy, but as it was drying before I just sprayed that last little spray, it definitely felt less greasy, more like a rubbery compound like you would want. All right, so I think I'm good on the 409. I'm gonna go to some brake cleaner now. And as you can see, it's still getting stuff off of there. Maybe that's just the rubber, but. All right, so I'm definitely pleased with that. It feels really sticky, rubbery, something that it seems like that rubber cement, that patch will really adhere to. In this package, you get this, which is basically just to rough up the surface with. I don't know yet if I'm going to use this or just maybe use some sandpaper. I'm not really sure yet, but you get one really big patch. I think that is much larger than is necessary for the size of this. And then you get two, I think they're the same size. Yeah, two of the same size. And then some rubber cement. And then of course, on the back, it tells you exactly what to do. Yeah, I don't really like this too much. I mean, that's like eating in. I'm revealing some like threads and stuff, so I'm not gonna use that. I'll just switch to sandpaper. I think that's probably gonna be fine. A little more brake cleaner on it. All right, so as you can see, I've actually intentionally kind of pulled the tire into more of its natural shape. Got the rubber cement, so the idea is to put the rubber cement on, rub it around a little bit, spread it evenly, work it into the material, scrape any excess off. I don't know how much excess you're gonna have, or if it matters that it stays on there. Then just remove the backing of this, press it firmly, and I guess hold it for a while. It doesn't really tell you that, so here goes nothing. I actually want to get some of this, I think, on these threads too that are showing. So this rubber cement is set up pretty good. Just want to make sure I center this directly on the hole. Now it says to peel these off. I'm not really sure why they're even on there. Then I've got a spray paint can cap that I'm just going to use to apply pressure with. And the reason I'm using the spray paint cap is just to apply pressure, also keeping it in that rounded shape that it's going to be. Alright, so it's the next day, and I've come to the realization that I actually put this thing on backwards, or upside down. But I do want to say that it's not entirely my fault, because if you look at the labeling on this thing, first of all here, Tire Patch Kit. Now you flip it over, and I wasn't paying attention to this, Tube Patch Kit. So Slime has printed the tube instructions on the back of their Tire Patch Kit instructions, and on here it says, you know, remove the foil, put the orange side down. Well, there's no orange side. You know, what I thought was, okay, well, I guess there's no foil. Maybe this is the closest thing to foil, this kind of plasticky stuff, so that should be the side that goes down. Well, it isn't. And, you know, obviously this came off really, really easily and only left that residue around the side. This center section was not adhered at all. So I'm going to scrape this off and put the new one on the correct way this time. So let's get this lined up where I want it, which I also didn't have it centered very well last time either, so I'm going to do a better job this time. All right, now the idea is to push it on. Oh, broke those scissors. So I guess the way this really works is that this gray rubbery, this is a softer compound, makes the adhesion happen a lot better and reacts better with the rubber cement, and then this more rubbery piece in the middle gives it the strength. So the last thing I'm actually going to do here, and I don't know if it's going to make any difference at all, is I'm going to apply some of this shoe glue to the outside here. I'm just going to kind of work it into the cut. You know, obviously it's protected from behind from the patch. This might just give it a little extra strength. I'm actually going to use the little tool that came with the patch kit to work it into the cut. Alright, so this has had a full day to set, and it's on there nice and secure. So it's ready to go back on the wheel. I'm going to set it up tubeless like it was before. I won't bore you with the entire process, but I'm going to give you a couple little tips along the way. Alright, so the tire is partially on, and what I'm going to do for this is actually go against conventional practices. So usually you would line up the logo of the tire with the valve stem. Since I do have a patch here, which is adding some weight on this side of the tire, I'm actually going to put that directly opposite the valve stem to have it balance out a little bit better. So the next quick thing just pertains to getting the tire on the rim, and you really don't need tools for this. So what you really want to do is work around all the sides that are actually seated and pinch each bead in towards the center so it fits into this little gully here. So if you do that all the way around, then once you get to the top, you've got excess play where you can really push this over without too much trouble. Just like that. All right, so now you got your tire on. It's looking like you got a super skinny tire because, you know, both the beads are in that valley. So what I do, you know, you want to get that bead to the outside. So what I do is kind of pinch and pull, then rotate, pinch and pull, rotate a little more, pinch and pull. And, you know, if you do this right and you get it on there nicely, you can pump this up with just a regular floor pump pretty easily. I heard some air coming out. I don't hear it now. Expect to hear a ping soon. There you go, first try. Whew. You don't really need a valve core extractor either, so obviously I've mounted this dry, take out the valve core, put the sealant in, but you can just use a little wrench like this, get it to the right size, pop it over the valve core, twist. I mean, it's not as convenient as an actual valve core remover, but it gets the job done. All right, so the air is back in. I don't hear any air leaks. I don't see any sealant coming out of anywhere. And it's actually looking fine around that area that I repaired. So I think I'm going to call this a success. You know, the true test is going to be when it's back on the bike and I'm back on the trail. I'll probably carry a tube just to be on the safe side. But this is looking pretty good. So if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave those below. Also think about subscribing to the channel. I'm getting close to 800 subscribers, which is also getting close to my 1,000 subscriber goal. Why 1,000? I don't really know. It's just kind of a nice round number. So thank you again for watching, and I appreciate you subscribing, and I'll see you next time.